All the world's a stage. William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, 1564-1616, was an English poet, playwright, and actor, widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's prominent dramatist. He is often called England's national poet and the Bard of Avon. His famous works, Othello, As You Like It, Romeo and Juliet, The Merchant of Venice. Explanation of the poem All the World's a Stage, William Shakespeare. We shall first read the poem. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face creeping like snail unwillingly to school, and then the lover sighing like furnace with a woeful ballet made to his mistress's eyebrow, then a soldier full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. This poem is taken from Shakespeare's play As You Like It. It is a monologue by one of the characters in the play. Monologue is a loud speech to oneself. The poet tells us that the whole world is a stage and all the men and women are merely players. Players here are actors. They have their exits and their entrances. Here, exits and entrances means that they are born and they die. And one man in his time plays many parts. So here the poet says a man plays many different parts during his lifetime. Each actor plays 7 roles during his lifetime, his acts being 7 ages. It means that each actor or each man or woman plays 7 roles during his lifetime. The first stage is that of an infant, mewling. The meaning of mewling is crying weakly. So at this stage, the infant is mewling and puking. Puking is throwing up or vomiting in the nurse's arm. The second stage is that of a schoolboy, complaining and crying, whining. The whining schoolboy. Whining is complaining or crying. He goes to school early morning with his satchel. Satchel is a school bag. He gets up early in the morning with a shining face, a well scrubbed face. He carries his school bag, his satchel, and creeps slowly like a snail, proceeding unwillingly to school. The third act is that of a lover who sighs like furnace, who sighs or cries loudly with passion and sings sad songs dedicated to the beauty of his lover. Woeful ballad is a sad poem or a sad song. So he sings sad songs dedicated to the beauty of his lover. The fourth stage is that of an aggressive soldier, bearded like a leopard, bearded like the pard. Pard here is the poetical short form for leopard. The soldier is full of oaths. He is jealous where his honor is concern and is quick to quarrel. The soldier is also very ambitious and does certain things to protect his reputation, even endangering his life for it. Even in the cannon's mouth, the meaning of cannon's mouth is facing great danger to life. So the soldier is so ambitious that he does certain things to protect his reputation, even though it is it endangers his life. And then the justice in fair round belly, with good capon lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice, turning again toward childish treble pipes and whistles in his sound. Here the poet tells us that the fifth stage or the fifth role is that of a mature middle-aged man with round belly, which is developed after eating food which has excess of fat. He is stern with eyes severe. He is a stern person, has beard of formal cut, full of wisdom, full of wise saws. Saws is sayings and gives modern instances or modern examples. So this is the fifth stage in the man's life, the middle-aged man. The sixth age shifts from middle age to old age, where the man is old with thin legs in slippers and wears loose pants. Pantaloon here is pants, with spectacles on nose and a pouch on his side. His youthful hose well saved, a world too wide. The meaning of youthful hose is a close fitting covering for legs, or it is stockings. So the close fitting stockings which he has saved from his younger days are now too big for his thin legs which have shrunk with age, and his big manly voice turning again toward childish treble pipes and whistles in his sound. So here the poet tells us that his loud voice, which was once manly, has now become childish and shrill. There are also whistling sounds when he talks. Last scene of all, that ends this strange eventful history. His second childishness and mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. Here the poet talks about the last stage in a man's life which ends this eventful life or eventful history. At this stage, the man becomes senile and enters his second childhood. Second childishness is the man enters his second childhood. And mere oblivion. Oblivion is the state of being unaware or unconscious of surroundings and happenings. So, here at this stage, the man is unaware of what is happening around him. He is unaware of his surroundings. This stage, he is without teeth, without vision, without taste, without anything. So, sans here means without. Sans is a French word. So at this stage, the man is without teeth, without vision, without everything. Figures of speech in the poem All the World's a Stage. Examples: creeping like a snail, soldier bearded like a pard. These two examples are simile. What is a simile? When two unlike things are compared using the words as or like. So in this first line, creeping like a snail. The schoolboy is directly compared to a snail. The schoolboy's walk to school is directly compared to a snail creeping slowly. Soldier bearded like a pard. So the soldier here is directly compared to a leopard. The second figure of speech is onomatopoeia. What is an onomatopoeia? When a word conveys the sound that is expressed. So the examples are, and the whining schoolboy sighing like a furnace. So the words whining and sighing, they convey a sound. Whine is cry. Sigh is also like a cry. So both these words convey sound. Therefore, it is an onomatopoeia. The next figure of speech that we learn in this poem is alliteration. What is an alliteration? When sounds of the letter or syllable is repeated for poetic effect. The two examples are, they have their exits and their entrances. So in this line, exits, E in exits and E in entrances, they are repeated. The second example is youthful hose, well saved, a world too wide. So here it is the sound of W in well and world and wide. The next example is metaphor. What is a metaphor? When two unlike things are indirectly compared, the words as or like are not used. If you look at simile and metaphor, both these are comparisons only. Simile is a direct comparison and metaphor is an indirect comparison without the words as or like. Look at the examples. Men and women merely players. Words like and as is not used. So therefore it is an indirect comparison. Men and women are indirectly compared to players. All the world's a stage. The world is indirectly compared to a stage. Next is antithesis. When opposite ideas or words are used in the same sentence or line. So this example, they have their exits and their entrances. So exit and entrance, they are opposite. Transferred epithet. What is the meaning of epithet? Epithet means adjective. So when the adjective is transferred from its rightful noun to another in the sentence, we call that figure of speech as a transferred epithet. Look at the examples. With a woeful ballad. Woeful ballad here. Who is woeful? The person, not the ballad. It's the person who is sad or woeful. Into the lean and slippered pantaloon. Here, who is lean or thin? The person. Who wears slippers? The person, not the pantaloon or pants.